Okay, I hope the video recording actually starts this time. What's up everybody, it's Skid, and today I'm going to be doing the Dark Souls 3 Lorethrough. If you're wondering why the title looks funny when it's live, it's because YouTube did not want me uploading something that said Ask Seeketh member, and it cancelled the broadcast before I could get it up. But yeah, these are going to be a series of live streams, and for people just joining this, or that will watch it when it's in a playlist post, I'm not going to be reading comments for these to save on time and so I don't get sidetracked, because I can go off on tangents about anything, and I want this to be mostly focused on what's going on in the game. And if you want to see me talk to people, you have to go to another live stream that I do. And these video segment things will be archived in a playlist, and these will be about 30 minutes to an hour, hour and a half. Some of the smaller levels, like the one I do today, will be about a half hour. And the bigger ones could be hour, 2 hours, might have to be split in half. Like the Catacombs of Carthus and Smoldering Lake will have to be 2 parts instead of 1. I might do them with some people, you know, who knows. So, yeah, let's just get right into this shit.
Yes, indeed. It is called Lorethrough, where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge. In venturing north, the pilgrims discover the truth of the old words. The fire fades, and the lords go without thrones. When the link of fire is threatened, the bell tolls, unearthing the old lords of Cinder from their graves. Aldrich, saint of the deep, Farron's undead legion, the Abyss Watchers. And the reclusive lord of the profaned capital. Yon the giant. Only in truth, the lords will abandon their thrones. And the unkindled will rise. Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder. And so it is that ash seeketh embers.
Okay, so that's the intro cinematic. It really... I'm gonna try and like treat these as if people kind of know what's going on with this video game. And this is really just gonna be more streams, like little things you might not have known, and just me talking out of my ass about stuff. Let's see, what should I name this guy? I'm thinking Hufflegore. Yeah, that seems like a good name to me. Alright, let's see. Age young. There's even shit about the classes in this game. The first one you get an obscure knight of poor renown who collapsed roaming the land. Sturdy, owing to high vitality and stout armor, aka the quality build. Guy was a knight who collapsed from being just so obscure and unimportant. A grim fucking fate. You have the mercenary. It was like the knight, but all beat to crap and someone stole his armor. This guy actually starts off with the Sellsword Windblades, which is a really great year 1 build. Yeah, just your basic veteran type dude. This guy's more heavy on dex, this guy's more heavy on strength. The warrior, descendant of northern warriors famed for their brawn, utilizes high strength to wield a heavy battle axe. And typically, like, the Viking type enemies in these games aren't from the north, which is really weird about this. Most of the time they're from like the east in Jugo, a land of Viking men. That's where most of the Vikings are from, but Jugo also has the desert pyromancer, so I guess I've got a whole lot going on in Jugo to make it where only Vikings aren't only from there. And apparently this guy's from the north though. A herald, a former herald who journeyed to finish a quest undertaken, wields a sturdy spear and employs a gentle breaster of magic. So this guy believed in something, whether it was the old gods, the way of white, or maybe he was just an ass man. This guy clearly had something that he set out to do that he would just not stop. He knew something out there was worth believing in, so respect to him. You've got the thief, which is the backstab king. Not really too much about the thief besides he's got Sinbad from the old Pixar movies, knife in his hand. You have the assassini, an assassin who stalks their prey from the shadows, favored sorceries in addition to thrusting swords. Really not too much else about him, really. A sorcerer. A loner who left former academia to pursue further research commands soul sorceries using high intelligence. And Gandalf the Grey here really doesn't have too much going on beside his weird mushroom shield. It doesn't really get into like where he's from, like which school he went to, because there are a lot of different magic schools in Dark Souls. Probably the fucking the one, the Dragon Academy I think's the name of it. A pyromancer from a remote region who manipulates flame. Also an adept close combat warrior who wields a hand axe. And this guy's from the Great Swamp. I don't know why it just doesn't say that in the description. The Great Swamp had a shitload of pyromancers that come from there. Just got like an Omega God of War symbol on his shield, so that's pretty cool. And then you have a cleric, a traveling cleric who collapsed from exhaustion, channels high faith to cast many and varied miracles. They've got your sorceries, pyromancies, and then miracles. So pretty much, if this guy was an ass man, this guy liked tits and ass. He just had so much to fight for. This guy believed so much in whatever he was going after that he actually dressed as a teenage mutant ninja turtle and went out and collapsed from walking too much. And then of course we have the best class in the game, the Deprived. If these other two are tits and ass people, this guy's in defeat. Naked of unknown origin, either an unfathomable fool in life or was stripped of possessions upon burial. Or just such an absolute Chuck Norris-ass badass that he didn't need weapons. This is probably the class that I pick the most when I'm starting up a new character, just because I don't need all the gear or anything. But we're not going to go with the Deprived to start this off. I'm going to go with the Warrior. I haven't really ever started with a Viking fighting man. Pick him. You have your burial gifts. You could just have none. Just if no one cared about you, they just threw you in a hole in the ground. You have your life ring. Doesn't have anything special about that. Really, there's only one of these that has anything interesting about it, but I'm going to read all of them. A divine blessing, a warmed, blessed holy water fully restores HP and cures ailments. And this is actually just Guinevere's gamer girl P, but we'll get more into her and all of the old gods and stuff later, I'm sure. Then you have a hitting blessing, which is just Guinevere's bathwater. Pure blessed holy water fully restores FP. So, Guinevere juice. You have the black firebomb. Firebomb charged with a special black powder, an uncouth gift for the departed. It's the kind of thing you give like a vampire if you don't want him to come back. All true Barker Bomb baiters know that that is the best gift to receive, though. I'd like to wake up with that at my side. Then a fire gem, which is something you can put on weapons, more appropriate for a warrior than pretty trinkets. So I don't know if they were just expecting this guy to raise up as a zombie or what, but they outfitted him. And this next one's really the only one that's got anything interesting about it, is a sovereignless soul. The sovereignless soul of one who slept beside you, used to acquire many souls. So this one, I guess, implies your guy was hitched, and the person died alongside you. So that's kind of sad, but it's not going to put a damper on my pamper. A burial item for good fortune after death greatly increases item discovery for a short while. And a cracked red eye orb. And this one they're pretty on the nose with. They don't like make it out like you were a dark wraith in a past life or anything cool. Online play item. One use only. Become a dark spirit and invade another world. So if you feel like starting the game up and getting ganked right out of the gate, there you go. A young white branch. Branch of a young white birch, perhaps an offering of peace. Can be used to blend into environments, but only once. So, yeah, the only one of these that really has anything about it is a sovereignless soul. But it's not really worth much. I guess it would be something kind of cutesy if you picked it and absorbed it so that you could have your spouse's soul with you through your journey if you wanted to roleplay really hard or something. But I'm not about any of that mushy tushy shit. I'm going with the life ring. Got your face presets. Commoner. The oh so plain face of a commoner. Everyone has imperfections, but a commoner without flaws is a rare creature indeed. It's pretty much just your basic bitch Arizona tea drinking type dude. You're a northern warrior. The face of a warrior. As if hewn from rock. It's been long whispered and chased. Northerners are born, weathered and old. This is just the Viking guy. We'll pick that, but I'm gonna keep going. The Astora Noble. The features of a true blue blood, blue of eye and fair of hair, a little reminder of Astora's former glory. That's kind of cool that you have someone that's from Astora as a face preset, because most of the time in Dark Souls, Astora is talked about like this fairy tale type thing that may or may not have existed. Because you have all these different people, Solaire of Astora, Oscar of Astora, Henri of Astora, all these different people. I think Andre is from there too, Henri and Andre. And you see these titles, but you never actually see it. All we ever hear, we only hear about it in the names of characters and the descriptions of weapons. And so Astora really has this fairy tale ass thing. Is the real place, or is it just something these people are like keeping from going hollow? Like the promise of this homeland way off? Who fucking knows? Maybe it's Maybelline. The Dragon Academy. That's where I was thinking that sorcerer was from. Intelligent face with fine lines, often ribbed for looking like a apprentice. So this guy just looks like a nerd. That's pretty much all there is to him. A Karim novice. The face of a cheerless cleric of Karim. Novice is used as something of a derogatory term for men of the cloths. So this guy was a monk from Karim. They're super big into their miracles and stuff, but we'll talk a little bit more about them and the people that were from there later. A Katerina Merrymaker. The large eyes and mouth give this face a look of jubilation. From Katerina, known for its zest of life and love of drink. So this guy's just from Katerina. It's just a happy-go-lucky type place, I guess. It's like far, far away from Shrek. I'm actually going to make sure that my mic is going through and all these people joining in aren't just like trying to scream at me that my voice is coming through my mic. Oh yeah, that's working. Blind playthrough. No, this is not a blind playthrough. Matter of fact, I have played through this game more than I care to think about. But a lot of people ask me like how much do I know about the game? And I pretty much know everything there is to know about this game's lore for the most part. Some of the more iffy stuff that's not really touched on too much, I don't know as much about. But I'm still pretty well versed in most everything. I read one comment when I opened that up. I'm not going to keep doing that, I promise. Serpentine traveler, an uncommon face defined by its narrow eyes and thin lips, some praise it as the visage of the true dragon. Well, let me tell you, if the dragons look like this, all these Drake Blood Knights are in for a sour surprise when this guy shows up at their castle gate. The Great Swamp Outcast, a uniquely deformed face, or perhaps merely ugly. Prejudiced birds, malcontents, and malcontents swarm to the Great Swamp. So the Great Swamp is just kind of a place for outcasts, people that society doesn't want. And apparently just being born butt ugly is a way to get cast out into that shit. A Lorethrough shadow of death. A lifeless face, almost that of a hollow. Lorethrough is a realm of those, hollow and old. This guy looks how my voice sounds. There's really nothing too special about him though, it's just like a description for how he looks and telling you what Lorethrough is. That, like, it really doesn't have too much to it, he just looks dead. And then Ithrillion, I hope I said that right. Irithillion, maybe? The features of the old gods, as if from legend. They say children born like this are fated to be taken to the Boreal Valley. So this is essentially what Gwyn's harem family squad looked like. And I guess if you were born looking like him, it means Gwyn pulled a Zeus and came down and started banging some hollows and pooped out one of these. Maybe that's the backstory behind all of his children. We're gonna go with the northern dude. Gotta give him... let's see. We're gonna go with the aged voice. Musculature. He's gonna be stacked. Another thing about this game is you do not want to, unless you want an intentionally really fat or really thin character, it's not worth to change any of the, like, any of the sliders on this, otherwise the armor will just clip and look really weird. We're gonna give him a beard, maybe. That's what I'm talking about. Now a lot of times in this game I make monstrosities or Hitler or something. Matter of fact, we can take a look here. So you can see the caliber of characters I usually make. I made like Hitler, Aragorn Hitler, these weird abominations, Jarl Balgruuf, Professor Glad, you know. But I'm not gonna do that. We're actually gonna keep this guy looking a little normal. Let's see. What'd I do? Face presets, Northern Warrior. And I just got the Hitlers. Fucking great. Alright. Let's go with default. There we go. I just cannot escape. Cannot escape that. Northern Warrior. Build. Appearance. Zeke. He's gotta have that body hair to keep him insulated. Living up north. I think it's features, no. Facial hair. I'm just gonna leave it like that before I screw it up anymore. Alright, so we've got our Viking fighting man. So it's pretty much everything in the main menu. Alright. Take a drink of this green tea. Like I said, these will probably be about a half hour to an hour, depending on how big the area is that it takes place in. My guy rising up out of the ground like a Michael Jackson extra. Yeah, so he heard the bell of awakening and rose to heed the call, just like all of the chosen undead before him. Excuse me, not chosen undead, ashen one. We gotta get our pronouns correct here. These guys are called the, I think they're not grave wardens, these are the, I can't remember, something like that. They're not grave wardens, they're like a rank right below them. I can't remember what the official name of them is. Gave me a sperm unit. That's gonna be great. I've got a really familiar knight sitting here waiting us, just waiting to say hey. Looks a lot like Oscar, one of those knights I was talking about a minute ago, leaned up against fucking Lord Vessel. I guess they just wanted to hiss with that nostalgia right off the bat. I wish we could, like, I don't understand why you couldn't take his armor off of him right there. But it's whatever, I didn't make the game. This beginning has a lot of stuff to teach you like the starter mechanics, but I've seen so many people not read these when they first start. Like, the game is trying to line up for you how it works, and people just walk up and start hitting this guy as he's trying to... I mean, this guy doesn't really deserve it. He's just sitting here eating off these muscadine vines. He's not trying to do anything. These are actually helpful messages. They're not like the ones the players usually leave where they talk about their buttholes at length. Also, probably the least killed hollow in all of Firelink Shrine. We got the world's greatest archer over here. Those sick jukes. If you look up there, you can see fucking an area we'll be going to in a minute. Like I said, I'm gonna try and walk the line best I can on this, like, because I know almost everyone that's gonna have watched this has played this game before. I know that. But I'm gonna try and talk as if people have never played it or might have just played the other games. We're gonna go this way. I've got my Sunny D and my Powerade, so I'm ready for any foe. And that's a really good message, possibly one of the best messages in all of the game. Alright, I've got that equipped. Might read this armor's item description in a minute. Just go full epic name bro with it and read the descriptions of every single thing I pick up in the game. So now we're gonna fight a Mega Evolution of a Digimon. If you've played the other Souls games, these are just those tiny ass little Titanite lizards, but if they eat souls. So essentially this little lizard here was badass enough that it killed someone and ate their soul, or was just like feasting on a corpse or something. But right now all he's gonna feast on is my fuck. The only good move this thing has. This lizard is a real one-trick pony a lot of the times. That tail sweep is 100% its best move. I'm gonna try and get him to roll this way a little bit. I guess now he's just gonna breathe at me. Now if those things actually damage me when I walk through them, I'd probably be pretty scared of that. I'm trying to thwack him on the head a little bit so I can get the riposte on him. Ooh. Oh, come here. Let's get out of the map. Yeah, there we go. Titanite scale. I'm gonna read that. Titanite altered by a soul. Reinforces soul transposed weapons to +4. Weapons forged by soul transposition can only be reinforced by Titanite of the same kind. In rare cases, crystal lizards devour souls, growing to monstrous proportion, leaving these great scales. So yeah, like I said, you get these from those big-ass lizards, and they are just the tiny crystal lizards who have probably murdered the crap out of somebody. Easily wielded axe. Nothing really special there. Pretty straightforward on most of this. Just armor of a northern warrior, telling what it's made of. A generations old ring. This ring's been around since the very first game. It'd have to be super old. I can't miss the items. It's not their soul. In new game there's some other stuff here, but I think that's it for right now. Alright, back onto the main path. That's one of the most useful skills any player in this game can learn, is the skill roll. If you want PvP and invasions or anything, that is an absolute must, to learn how to hit circle right when your feet hit the ground so you do a combat roll. Like, I could not, if I was trying to teach someone how to invade, I could not stress enough how important that is. Now we get one of the best views in the entire game. Something that one of my friends thought, that I kind of think too, that Dark Souls 3 is lacking, was a ton of really pretty views where you can see where you're going. Dark Souls 1 was full of them. In Dark Souls 1, you could see forever. Like, from the start, you could see a long way, that's what I'm trying to say. And this is one of the ones here, like, you can see all the way up the path into Firelink, you can see the tower. And if you look back up here, you can see where we will be going later. Like, Dracula's castle. Everybody talks about the high wall of Lothric, but what about the low wall of Lothric? Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself though, I guess. And now this bonfire is lit. And you learn your first gesture. Doesn't give you any options because you don't need any yet. I actually think that crystal lizard back there is like a lot harder than the actual boss for this level. These guys aren't willing to drop me anything. There we go. Teaches you how to jump. Titanite shard. I don't even think this thing is really, let's see. There it is. Titanite shards are fragments of the legendary slabs. Titanite is etched into weapons to reinforce. You can actually see a few runes on there where this has been just chipped off of a slab. Nothing else important up here. And this guy here is about to get the Macho Man elbow drop. Another sperm unit. I'm gonna try and take out Legolas. And head back up this way. I wonder if you can see... Fucking ambushed my ass, coming right at me. Who tries to hit a man when he's trying to enjoy a pretty view? Just underhanded, sturdy. No, there's nothing out here. Sometimes in the mountains they have like areas hidden, which I'll show later. But not from here. Now this area down here is where a certain NPC way later on in the game likes to get himself stuck. Firebomb. One of the most useful items in the entire game. One of the best throwables right behind the black firebomb, which you can get at the very start like we saw. There. An urn filled with black powder explodes, inflicting fire damage. And it says fire damage, which differs from physical damage, is highly effective against creatures of flesh. Beasts and other foes might naturally have cause to fear flame. Pretty much it's just good against like werewolves and things that are typically scared of fire. I think actually it's better against like beast type enemies than it is ice enemies, which makes no sense. But it's whatever. If you look off over here on the left before we fight this giant pile of fuck, you can see that casket that giant pile of rotten jello pulled out of at the very start. Or at least I'm pretty sure that's what this is. It kind of looks like the thing from, what's it? I can't remember the name in Dark Souls 1, but there's an area in Dark Souls 1 way past the catacombs. I'm sure people in the chat will correct me, so if you're watching this post, you can just go look at the live replay. It looks like the thing you slide down when you get ready to fight Pinwheel. Still can't see anything out over here. Something that a lot of you probably don't know is this is where a lot of your favorite creators take their thumbnail shots, because in the later version of this, when the sky isn't here and it's all black, which is way later, people just pose their character like this, and then take a screenshot of them during an attack, like, right there, screenshot material. You know, something in there, one of those frames, right there. This is where a lot of that magic happens. That's not something a lot of people know. Maybe you do. Maybe I'm just out of the loop. Can't think of anything else. Oh yeah, I can actually. Over there, I don't have my binocs yet, but you can see that hollow standing there being all edgy. If I had my binocs with me, you could really see how cool that looks, but it's not there. Alright. Time to fight this guy in his dreadlocks. This guy also looks like a Demon Souls boss. Brownie points if you know who. Poor Gundyr. Oh, Gundyr's got some moves on still. A few surprises left in him. Have a drink. What you gonna do, Gundyr? It's gonna wail on him. Later, Diarrhea Demon. Arrow of Fire. No, it does not say Lord of Cinder. And our Ember has been restored. I light the bonfire. I hate to think how many casual people have been turned away from this game because of him. Like, it's not Gundyr's fault whatsoever, he's a starter boss, those are always going to turn people away. But I've seen so many people struggle against him and just not have the fortitude, just not have the testicular fortitude to keep on pressing past him. The Broken Straight Sword, the king of any true challenge run. Straight sword with a broken blade, a weapon with no exceptional qualities, only a Mad Hollow would choose to fight with this. And there are quite a few Mad Hollows out there. We're gonna go back around this side. But if you played this game recently, you probably haven't been back here in a couple millennia. I was hoping to break his guard and have a really cool execute where I like Spartacus kicked him off the hill. I wonder who thought it was a good idea to put graves down here. Like, yeah, standing straight up seems like a good place for stolen caskets. A homeward bone. Alright. Bone fragment reduced to white ash. Return to the last bonfire used for resting. Bonfires are sustained by the bones of the undead. In rare cases, their previous owner's strong urge to seek bonfires enchants their bones with a homeward instinct. So pretty much it's just the undead crave getting to bonfires so much that even if you find one of their bones and break it, it will take you to one. They are just in essence bound to the bonfires, and it'll take you back to one. Really, it's just a nice way to get back to a checkpoint, but from a lore perspective, it's kind of cool. And here's the edgelord standing out here at the edge of the cliff. The cliff. Yep. Fly on, space cowboy. We'll be coming back to this grave right here way later on. Nothing too special about it right now, though. These guys. Now these people, like, they're pretty well set up, I think, to take on new players, but most people that I've seen that have made it past Gundyr don't have any problem with these guys. Alright. I think the pathway's up here. Actually, two paths we can take. First things first, though, we're gonna go back up this way. Say hello to Swordmaster, who I'm not going to fight yet. Fading Soul, nothing. Right here, Ember. So let me just take a look at this Ember, excuse me. No unkindle can ever truly claim the embers that burn within a champion's bosom, which is precisely what makes their yearning for warmth so keen. Gain the strength of flame and increased max HP until death. With the strength of fire, the summoning signs of unkindle become visible, and seekers of embers can be summoned to join in cooperation, but beware, the embers may also attract invaders. So, yeah, I didn't realize this when I first started playing the game, but the ember is just a humanity that's been set on fire. It's the exact same look. I didn't realize that when I first started playing this. I thought it was just like a symbol for a flame. Then when I opened it up like this, I realized what it looks like. Looks like that little mummy that they eat in Futurama. In one episode. There's also a shield right here. I don't really remember what's on this shield right off the top of my head. A wooden shield decorated with the ancient symbol of the two-headed eagle, close to a small shield in size. Wooden shields are light, manageable, blah, blah, blah. I think this was in Dark Souls too. I do not remember where, but I'm almost certain that's what game this is from. I don't know. That's one thing I don't know. There's some things I'm not gonna know. I'm pretty sure that's a shield from DS too. And that's Swordmaster G, who we will not be challenging right now. And now we're gonna go the other path. Something in this game too that I don't think a lot of people notice, they just don't take the time to smell the roses. One thing people talk about liking in Dark Souls 1 lot is the detail with the sound on the armor. Like if you're wearing naked clothes, your skin smacked the ground. If you're wearing light armor, except if you're wearing heavy armor, it like clink together. People don't think that's in this game, but it is. It's really, really subtle though. It's not like in Dark Souls 1 where it was more present. In this game, if you're naked, your skin hits the ground. If you're wearing leather, you have a really light sound. If you're wearing armor that's more chainmail, like this, you hear the chainmail hitting. You might be able to hear that, maybe not. Hold on. Let's see. You can hear the chainmail going together, but if I had picked the knight class and I was rolling around knight armor, it would make more of like a plate armor scraping against each other sound. Excuse me. But it's got those little details, it's just way more subtle than this game. Not saying that's better or for worse, but it's in the game. And this is, Firelink Shrine. I'm gonna go talk to the most relatable character in the whole game.
Another one roused from the sleep of death. Well, you're not alone. We unkindled are worthless. Can't even die right. Gives me conniptions. And they'd have us seek the lords of Cinder and return them to their molding thrones. But we're talking true legends with the metal to link the fire. Not fit to lick their boots. Don't you think?
So Hawkwood pretty much just represents all the people in the game who beat Gundyr but then couldn't beat the next level, so they just come back here and sit and mope. Hawkwood's pretty cool though. You have the pretty normie waifu. You have the secret waifu, who we're not going to talk to. I'm going to wait until way late game to talk to her and show you guys something with her. And of course, the absolute Chad. My back looks kind of weird, McGee. Andre.
Well, a newcomer, I see. I am Andre. I serve at this shrine as a humble smith, forging weapons. You're in search of the Lords of Cinder, I trust. A toilsome journey, I'd wager. You'll require good arms. Let me smith you weapons. I am a smith, such is my purpose.
Alright, that's Andre. I think one of the biggest crimes they committed with this game was taking away Andre's dropkick.
Prithee, be careful. I don't want to see my work squandered.
Prithee, be careful. Wouldn't want to see me work squandered.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything really special about any of his stuff back here, besides the fact that Andre made it, of course. Actually, that is a huge buckler. I thought that was a Loean shield. That is a buckler of immense proportion. I'd hate to see a giant with that shield. I'd hate to get parried by one of the giants later on in the game. Looks like a Lorethrough Knight shield, or... That's a Tarkus, that's a Black Iron shield. Two of them. Then just a bunch of short swords, rapiers. Some of these weapons have been changed though. Like that rapier is immense. It's like the size of a greatsword. And there's a smaller version right beside it. I never knew that buckler was back here. There's not really anything to look at just yet. But there will be. I'm still not gonna talk to her. Unless I have to, which I really don't want to. If I find out that I need, like, absolutely need to talk to her to get something, I will. But, I can't think of anything that I would need. I think most of the quest lines in the game don't require her. Okay, so you've got depression.mp4, waifu material, secondary waifu, and Andre. Oh, and over here, how could I forget Ludlith? Ludlith has a terrifying death scream. Here he is.
All that unkindled, and a seeker of lords. I am Ludlith of Corlan. Look not in bewilderment as I say. I linked the fire long ago, becoming the lord of Cinder. If substantiation be thy want, set thine eyes upon my child close. This sad cadaver, no need to be calm. Have a closer look.
So yeah, the Lord Ludlith. Corland is typically a place that clerics come from. Pretty much the whole thing with Ludlith is he managed to link the fire, but instead of coming out all cool and badass like all the other Lords of Cinder, he has gotten melted. He has got burnt to shit. They left him in the fryer for just a little too long, and he turned into this. And he transforms boss souls into weapons. Alright, I think that's pretty much everything in here for right now. I'm gonna go outside again. Okay. And from here you can see that bonfire that we were at a minute ago. That little orange light way over there. Or maybe you can't, maybe the resolution's too low. I don't know. Actually, I went the wrong way. Gotta go up here. I hope it still loads in. Oh god, there's no seaman blocking my way this time. There's another Dark Souls 2 callback. Seed of a giant tree. In the older games, these things house the memories of the giants, but I guess this guy just doesn't have the memory of an elephant or something and doesn't remember anything, so all he does is give you the seeds. I think that's probably, if I'm not mistaken, this is the only use of the Dark Souls 2 giant model in the whole game, where they have the anus face. It looks like the last giant. Must be something we unlock later. If I wait to get the Shrine Handmaiden, that'll be way later. I know we have the first skill jump of the game. Didn't get it. There was a time I used to speedrun this game and challenge run this stuff. I knew how to do this jump perfectly. But those days are long gone. Now it takes me every bit of 45 years. It's like watching The Undertaker wrestle. You like watching him do it, and it's really fun, and it's cool to see him, but you're always worried he's gonna hurt himself. There we go. And then he absolutely wins all of it at WrestleMania, and the crowd goes wild. He made a skill jump. Another homeward, actually 3 homeward bones. I'm really glad they never patched that jump. I think there's something over here. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure there is. No, wait. It's not here yet. Ah, fuck, what's the harm? I'm gonna go this way. I'm not gonna pick this up. Actually, I probably will, fuck. There's a lot to do. Now, Swordmaster is not pleased with my presence in the slightest. He's giving me the stanky eye. But I've got stuff to acquire. Back behind here, there is a Digimon. Hit those with a jumping R2, it gets him. That's why I came back here. I wanted to get the Twinkling Titanite. Crap. I keep on going the wrong way. Twinkling Titanite for weapon reinforcement. Reinforcing weapons steeped in strength 2+4. These unique weapons cannot be reinforced with ordinary Titanite, nor can they be infused. Unless one uses this Twinkling Titanite, which reinforces these weapons without unraveling their inherent strength. I think I butchered reading that, I got a lot of words mixed up. Twinkling Titanite's just pretty much for magical, special weapons, like weapons of the gods, or just really unique things. I think, yeah, comes out here. Would be nice if I could just hardcore parkour across there and grab that ladder. But I can't. So I gotta make the skill jump again. But I wanted to read off that thing for Twinkling Titanite. Fuck. Looks like Brock Lesnar's beating the Undertaker again, just giving him concussions left and right here. Fuck. Up to my shoelaces. Alright, one more time here. Alright, okay. Didn't get it. I didn't even go off the tree that time, I don't know what I was thinking. Alright, there we go, first try. Now we're gonna run around to this side of things. Oh. And like I said earlier, if anyone's wondering in the comments, these will be archived in the playlist, so don't worry if you didn't watch all of this or want to watch all of it later. And another thing from Dark Souls 1 and 2, the crow that trades scrap with you. And much more importantly, an Estus shard. A shard soaked in Estus. Give to the blacksmith at the shrine to increase usages of the Estus flask. In the old days it was rare to see an Estus flask far from its owner, but this shard offers hope, however shattered. So I guess someone's just dropping peanuts in their Estus like it was Coca-Cola, and left them up here for some reason. Go downstairs and use Andre. Now this crow has two places you can trade with it. You can trade here or up there on the roof. Let me see, I think I give you something for leaving this. Yeah, she did not like that, I guess. Alright, we'll try a firebomb. Who doesn't like a good firebomb? What'd she give me? No, large titanite shard. That's not too bad. At what cost, though? Losing a firebomb is a valuable commodity. Losing a valuable commodity. Large titanite shard. Titanite shard for weapon reinforcement. A larger shard that reinforces weapons to +6. And then it's just got the exact same thing. It's pretty much even the game's just like, you know, it's just a bigger version of the smaller one. And here's the first illusionary wall in the game. I give that guy a good. He's out here being a champ, trying to help people out. 3 years later, someone doesn't know that's there. Front flip. Sick tricks. The chain is not out, looking all weird. And then we get the covetous silver serpent ring. That's actually... okay, I got it right that time. A silver ring depicting a snake that could have been, but never was, a dragon. Fallen foes yield more souls. Snakes are known as creatures of great avarice, devouring prey even larger than themselves by swallowing them whole. If one's shackles are cause for discontent, perhaps it's time for some good old-fashioned greed. I can't really remember too much. I know at one time realized something about these rings. There was something about the snake turning into a dragon, and like some stuff came together. And I'll probably remember later. And snakes, just talking shit on snakes on that second line though. And then if one's shackles are cause for discontent, it's pretty much if you don't like being hollow, you don't like your situation, maybe it's just time to be greedy. Maybe it's just time to be really mean. Can't believe I didn't make that skill jump. We've got some Celtic hounds back here. Only King Lothric, last hope of his line. And it just tells all of the Lords of Cinder's names on the back of their thrones for no good reason. You like this, baby? Watch this. Look at this grip. Look at this performance. Oh yeah, look at that. Does that not get you feeling the vapors? Just made a bonfire. Could you do that? I don't think so. Arrest this bonfire in case she decides to slit my throat for being a pig. Okay, don't kill me.
Welcome to the bonfire, unkindled one. I am a firekeeper. I tend to the flame, and tend to thee. The lords have left their thrones, and must be this end, I am at thy side.
That's just a Firekeeper, a way to level up, get lore.
Farewell, Maid of...
She actually will respond to emotes too, which I'm sure pretty much everyone knows. I remember when people first discovered that, or when that first became, like, well known, everybody just, like, shit themselves, like, oh my god, waifu material will respond to me? You know, take the Estus Shard back here to Andre.
Just wasn't even.
Alright,
Prithee be careful, I don't want to see me work squandered.
yeah, I know. Trust me, I know. No, that's pretty much everything in Firelink Shrine. On to the next area. The High Wall of Lothric, that big ass castle we were just looking at. Now there's the sexy female. Wish I could have stayed to see that for another second. But then of course the infamous helpful tips of Dark Souls 3. Okay. There's like a little lord vessel back here too, with a little coiled sword put into it. I'm not sure why they decided to put that there. Maybe that's got some deeper meaning than what I'm thinking. It just seems like an odd thing to just throw randomly into a first place in the game. Oh, maybe the people of Lothric were more into the whole linking the fire thing. I know that was a really big deal for the church and stuff, but I didn't think that all of the pillars of Lothric, the knights, the hunters, I didn't think everyone was into that. I was pretty sure that was just the Miracles crowd that wanted Lothric to do that. Matter of fact, the scholars in the archives didn't want them to link the fire, but something for later. Okay, bonfire lit. So that's going to be it for this stream. I know that people are not going to like that this is so short, but like I said, these are going to be little bitty snippets. Like, the next time I play this, we'll be going through Lothric Castle, down through the gate. You can actually see some of the area later on in the game, but it's like way late game that you go up there. But you could see it, so you can also see another area down... Where is it from here? Actually, that would be too far. Way up underneath that bridge is another level that you end up going to. You can see down into the level from up here. Yeah. But yeah, I could sit here and talk for like hours about some of the like architecture and stuff and how accurate they got it and stuff they couldn't get. Just go full Shadiversity, but I'm not gonna. So yeah, that's it for this stream. Next time we'll be doing Lothric Castle. So that's it for this one. See ya.